So I don't know about you, but the salad dressing was a little pungent, don't you think? I almost hated to get off the table because I was entertaining a nice little buzz. But I decided to come up here and talk to you guys. Very early in my career, I learned not to make assumptions. All right? It's a good rule to follow generally. So, but I'm going to make one here today. So I'm going to assume that nobody in this room won the Powerball. Is that a fair statement? Because otherwise, you'd probably be eating in the next room, all right, or on your 120-foot new Hatteras yacht floating down the intercoastal towards Paradise Island. So I digress from that. My name is Stu Kalinsky. I'm the VP of Sales for ipfone, and I've been with the company for 20 years and been with the organization probably 25 or 30. I've been in the telecommunications industry probably before most of you were eating solid food, all right? And I'll get into that in just a moment. With me today is Eric Levitt, my crack salesman, not my crack salesman, my crack salesman, okay? And Abraham Sue, who is our senior sales engineer. Some of you have encounters with him, and if you get Abe on the phone with your potential customer, you can pretty well take it to the bank. So, and also Abraham is here today because he really likes steak.
Okay. But we ordered a salad.
Okay. So anyways, I just thought I'd just start it off a little bit with a little sort of reflection, if I may. During the course of my career, and some of you I know have been around long enough to remember a lot of these paradigm changes that have happened in the telecommunications industry over the years. And it's good to know because I think we're in one right now, all right? So I'd like to just reflect on 5 or 6 of them that have happened over the last 125 years, frankly. The first one, of course, was when Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone. Everybody remembers that, right? I was his first employee. You may not know that, all right? Luckily, he said, Watson, can you come in here? I need you, right? I don't think he needed the telephone. Watson was in the next room, all right? But in any event, that started us off on this journey of business communication services. And I wrote these down, so I'm just going to get them to you in order. The next one, which is about 100 years later, was the breakup of the Bell system in the early 80s. Ma Bell broke up into all the baby bells. My question always was, what happened to Pa? Okay, in the 1990s, we came up with the 4-pound cell phone. Does everybody remember the 4-pound cell phone?
More like 40.
Okay, it was invented by Martin, somebody other who worked for Motorola. Paradigm change in the way that people operated and business got done. The next one was actually the year 2000 or so when VoIP, Voice over the Internet Protocol, came to the fore. It didn't work, but it was available, all right? And of course, it's gotten a little better for that since then. Thank God for that for most of us in this room. In 2010 was the advent of the smartphone, the BlackBerry, the Palm, and henceforth, of course, the iPhone and the smartphone and the whole technology that came along with us, which really changed the way we operate ourselves. And last but not least, a couple of years ago, maybe 2 or 3, was the advent of collaborative services, MS Teams, WebEx, and the like, where companies could actually do business from anywhere, with anyone, see anybody. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, in March of 2020, during the course of the advent of the pandemic, the worldwide pandemic, 1 billion office workers went home for 2 years. Worldwide, 1 billion office workers went home. The day before that, whatever day that really was, all those people got on their bus, in their car, on the subway, or walked to an office, got in their little cubicle, and hung around the water cooler. Okay? That's how business was done. Now, 2 years later, we're starting to go back to work a little bit, all right? But the take rate on the collaborative services has been astounding. Would you all agree with that? All right? In our company alone, I can just give you just a small circumstance. When the pandemic hit and people started migrating to their homes, and it was panic city, because how do we work from home? So we gave out 7,000 mobile apps to our clients. Some of them may be your clients, by the way, who do business with us. But we gave out 7,000 mobile apps so people could actually use their smartphones or their laptop and use the soft phone technology from their home, but maintain their work environment. Henceforth, of those 7,000, and by the way, we didn't charge them, ever. We started charging, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago. We sent out a notice that we're going to have to start charging a few bucks or whatever it is for it. 85% of the people are now paying for it, which just suggests the take rate on these kinds of services. So I guess the message I have is that the value proposition of collaborative services, along with hosted PBX, which basically has become, as we'll tell you about, an application. All right? Because people can communicate in 15 or 20 different ways now, right? We can send messages or call in a myriad ways. So the point of the matter is that once you learn the value proposition to the buyer, you'll be able to sell a lot more than we do now, okay? This is not a one-off anymore. The hybridization of the way we work, well known, is basically here to stay because people like it. Who likes working from home? Okay? Who likes going to the office? All right? Some people do. Some people like to get the hell out of their home. All right? For a change. So I'm going to turn this over just now to Mr. Eric Levitt, who is going to tell you a little bit about ipfone. And then I'm going to take over probably in about 30 seconds. Okay.
At least. All right, well, thank you very much. Can everybody hear me, by the way? All right, great. So obviously, you guys know ipfone celebrating our 25th year anniversary, which we're pretty proud of, and to me says we're doing something right. Hopefully, to the customers, it says they're doing something right. It's also the anniversary of when you first promised to buy me lunch.
Yeah.
So still waiting for that. Oh, how do I click the next slide? We're going to go into some of the products that we offer, which some of you may know. I mean, just real highlighting here, we just got picked to be Into Miami's provider for voice and data. So it's a nice thing. When I go to the games, which we have free tickets, anybody wants to go to a game, let me know. Our name comes across the stadium when they have the thing that goes around in the back. Kind of cool. All right, again, 25 years, nothing to say about that. But again, it shows a little bit of stability, and companies that don't know, customers don't know us, I think 25 years shows that we're a real deal. All right, company snapshot, again, 25 years. We're you guys may or may not know, we're a little over 100 employees. We're up and down the East Coast, offices, branches now through, anywhere in New York, New Jersey, Virginia, D.C., Jacksonville, Atlanta, Florida. We're definitely spreading our wings, but still maintaining that small mom and pop type mindset of white glove, support and service. Every employee in our company is customer service. Comes down from our CEO. Whatever you do in my company, your job at the end of the day is making sure that customers, and to me, you guys are our customers, so you have to be happy. And of course, you're happy when your customers are happy, when they pay their bills, when we pay you commissions on time, or actually through TCG Tularis. And that's what we do a great job, and that's why we're here 25 years. Again, we've got thousands. We've done 1,000 installs just with TCG alone, about a little over 5,000 nationwide. So, we're spreading our wings. We've got proof of concept, which, again, you'll see our retention rate is 99%. So, in our industry, I think that's great, and again, shows that we're doing a good job. Customers are happy. They're being supported. When an issue or challenge comes down, our company is here. We respond, and again, it's everybody from myself up to the CEO. And Stu, we're responding in kind. Whatever you guys need. People call me 10, 11 o'clock at night, whatever it is, and I'm there for you guys, as is everybody. Again, you'll see one of our claims to fame is 6-month customer satisfaction, which, again, it is what it says. Customer has 6 months proof of concept, which in our industry, I think is, I don't know anybody that's doing longer than 30 days, so you're shaking your head.
You're right.
Oh, thanks. So, and I actually have had large customers come to me and say, we want to extend that. I've actually, off the record, you didn't hear this, Stu, I've given customers, 3 years for a big customer. 3 years. You're not happy in the first 3 years of the contract, you're out. You don't get that from, bigger companies.
By the way, just to add to that, we sort of found, we did a big study, I happen to have written the 6-month satisfaction guarantee, and it was based on a calculated study that showed that our retention rate was over 99%. So it's a pretty good bet that we should be doing a pretty good job in keeping the customers. If in fact, whether we offer the 6-month satisfaction guarantee or not, if you keep it 99% of your customers, generally speaking, it's a pretty good calculated risk that we did it. All right. And we have a saying in our company now. They say if the customer likes us in the first 10 days, they're going to like us for the next 10 years, because that's where the action is during the implementation and deployment of the system. I think everybody pretty much would agree with that has been around. Okay?
And that's why we do a white glove. Everything is our own installers around the country, absolutely doing on-site installs, training, making sure everything is,
Eric, move away from the slide.
Sorry, customer. Okay, there we go. Thanks. All right, that's our best product line is right here. Oh, sorry. Okay. So again, one of the things that we like to, I'll stand right here. One of the things we like to brag about is that, or that makes it easy for you guys, is it's the power of one bill, one product, one company. We basically have all the products except for the products that you guys mostly sell, from the cybersecurity to the network infrastructure. We don't touch that. That's your stuff. But everything else, telecom, from, as Dan alluded to a minute ago, analog lines. We can convert analog lines. If it's AT&T, it's a simple rebill. If it's another carrier, we can install a local AT&T line just in Florida, unfortunately, but it's still a nice little value add. PRIs, SIP trunks, you'll see as I go through, we have all the products you ever want we're an ISP as well as a VoIP company and as well as an internet company. So we have all the products. Customer care, you guys, again, not to beat it to death, but the on-site install, the white glove onboarding with on-site everything, people love that. Again, it's included, no extra charge. And again, the hands-on training to every customer. Trusted by industry leaders, which to me is just, we've got a host of references in larger, as you guys go upstream, which a lot of you do, we can absolutely have large customer sizes to give to you as references. Again, going on the key solutions, which again, the more we get into the key solutions, the more you sell solutions, as you guys know, the stickier the customer gets, the less it becomes about how much is your price per seat. We want to get away from price per seat. We want to sell the value of the technology. The ipfone WebEx UCaaS, which is our primary solution through Cisco WebEx. I was watching CNN recently, and again, CNN, everything is broadcast through WebEx. So customers that want to have comfort, they know that it's a name brand, or nobody gets fired for buying name brands. The Cisco WebEx name is something that we like to have. And again, with the Cisco WebEx, the more you dive into questions, which Abe and myself can help you get into it, you figure out the need or the use or the value of collaboration. What's the value of saving time by having everybody be able to collaborate in the Teams rooms, the chat, the sharing of files, of emails in a very synthesized manner. All the solutions that you can get, video conferencing, sharing of video screens, everything is there. And again, that allows us to stand out from just selling on price per seat. That just being said, we have the Easy PBX for customers that are just relatively small and less complicated and just want a simple product to sell. We have another platform that we have called Bicom. It's an Asterisk platform, company we purchased or acquired a few years ago. We synthesized that into our network and have that availability. It's includes the phone, includes the license, includes long distance, international long distance, auto attendant. Everything is as low as, I think we have $19.95 all in. So it's very simple, very easy for customers to understand, and has a mobile app also you can add on, a very simple mobile app for basic calling. Doesn't have the WebEx features, but again, for smaller customers that don't need the sophisticated services, the Easy PBX is there, and it's very, very, very price competitive. One of our favorite maybe things that people don't know a lot about, the ipfone for Microsoft Teams. So customers that are using Teams now for their internal communications, we can expand it with the Microsoft Teams platform. We have trunks that go into the cloud, that go into the Microsoft Teams, and allows them to take their Microsoft Teams that's just for internal use and expand it to basically make it a regular traditional or hosted phone system for auto attendance, for call recording. Anything else you think I should add to that as far as the Teams?
Basically, with Teams, you have one single sign-in. You'll have telephony and your traditional Microsoft services all in one place.
So don't be afraid to ask us for those questions and those kind of products. SIP trunk connectivity, very simple. SIP trunks through our BroadSoft platform. So if customer is using an IP-based PBX or even a digital analog system, we can bring in SIP trunks, give them some VoIP features. The pricing as low as $8 for metered, $9.95 for included unlimited long distance, and just a nice thing you guys can get compensated on, and a foot in the door for us or a foot in the door for you. That's actually I had a customer started with like 10 SIP trunks a couple of years ago. Now I have like 50 VoIP phones. So good way to build into a customer. High-speed internet. If you guys know that we sell everything from ABF down here. If it's a lit building, you can get ABF with us and not have to worry about having it on one bill, one provider. Pricing is at or below AT&T in most of the structures. SPIFs are included. Of course, the dedicated fiber from 10 megs, up to like 10 gigs. We have various last mile providers, AT&T, Verizon, Crown Castle, excuse me. Anybody else on this thing? Okay, so we can hit pretty much any of those local carriers and give you very competitive pricing, and as importantly, put it under one umbrella with one company, one throat to choke.
One throat to choke.
Contact center, we go from the very simple contact centers where people just want basic call queues or call recording. We can go into the basic BroadSoft level, which is you can have agents log in, log out, get basic reporting. Then we go all the way up to the WebEx contact center, which does, you want to talk real quickly about the contact center, what that does, the WebEx contact center?
Yeah, it's basically a cloud contact center from WebEx that allows you to have a lot of customizations, analytics, API access, data dips. So it's very enterprise grade contact center.
And we can get Cisco direct engineers to deal with the customers at that level, and they'll present it, they'll recommend it, and set you guys up with that product. And that's a great product for, I guess, you guys like MRC. Those seats start at $125 a seat. So you do the math, it definitely pays. You get us in the door. SD-WAN, of course, we have two options for SD-WAN, which is the Meraki box, the Cisco Meraki, top of state of the line. We also have the Fortinets now, which are more available. And again, it does everything that SD-WAN does as far as you have multiple carriers, multiple ISPs that can go into the device, and it'll shoot out the same. Both carriers are working simultaneously, so it keeps the uptime up for your internet. Does a lot of the firewall work. It's a HIPAA grade firewall, and something that we love to get into. CRM integration, of course. If anybody has a lot of customers now working with CRMs, we can integrate that into our system and have them have all the screen pops and things that come up with CRMs. You can work with the PBX. Hospitality, we have a whole different division now that Aubrey Bernard works. That's just hospitality. So if you guys have any hotels, we have a product now that's from, was it Jazz?
Yes, Jazzware.
Jazzware that basically integrates with their on-system PBX and gives you guys all the features of a hotel hospitality. Let's see next. Okay, here's our nationwide footprint. Again, headquarters, everybody knows we're down here. Our offices, though, again, Pittsburgh, Cherry Hill, D.C., Georgia, Rockland, Jacksonville. We're definitely expanding. And again, very importantly, installation now, again, across all 50 states. White glove, everything, all included, nothing to your customer. Unless you want to actually have a partner that asks me to charge for installs, and then he gets the whole commission for the install. As far as our network and infrastructure, I'm going to let Abe just talk real quickly about that.
Yeah, so we're located here in Miami in Equinix. We have also a data center in Dallas, a data bank. And all of our hardware is Cisco enterprise grade, so all of our routers and switches. And everything is redundancy and active.
Okay, here we go.
All right,
Go ahead.
Big question. Are you guys leaving money on the table? Okay, I'm going to get into why you may or may not be. Okay, we're going to talk to you about increasing value to your clients, which to us is our best sale is when it's not arguing over 19 a seat or 19.95 a seat or 18 a seat. It's when we bring value and solve solutions and bring them enough services that the price is not the main driver. Okay, getting more with ipfone. Your goal, our goal is capturing your more revenue with your customers, increasing your MRC, which increases your residuals, increases your SPIFs, increases the benefit and value to the clients, which increases the retention, and stops them from having, looking at other carriers. Okay. This is some of the ways that we go about and the questions that we like to ask on calls, whether it's Abraham, whether it's myself or Stu, which is why we love to engage with customers. Quick offshoot, in the 9 years that I've been doing this, I'd say our close ratio triples when you guys are kind enough to bring us to the customer. Whether it's us just to support you, ask questions, whether it's the customer just knowing who the end user carrier is, it's a huge help when we get involved. And it's just going to increase your MRC. It's going to increase the percentage of chances of getting the deal. And that's why we love getting in. But yeah, just some of the questions we ask is, again, what's the value to your company of tracking missed calls, on return calls, callers who hung up, callers who left voicemail that weren't returned, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Depending upon the operation, whether it's a medical group or whether it's somebody that sells to the consumer, this information is a game changer to them. And they can get this call analytics, as cheap as $3 an extension, and the value that it brings is, again, makes the whole cost of the MRC disappear. I'm going to let you take that picture, Tim. Again, how would your company benefit from having a system facilitate collaboration, meetings? This is something, if you really get the customer to think and really look at it and say, gee, if I had a room, if I had a place to consolidate my communications or have chats that are organized or share files with people in my company, and whether it's by a group, by sales, by customer service, getting them to really consider that and think about that. When you bring in the WebEx, it takes the price out of the equation. The value is there that it makes everything make sense. Again, last thing is how mission critical is your company's internet. So again, the SD-WAN is as low as $99. But it gives them the ability to have both ISPs running at the same time. If one goes down, the other one's carrying the traffic seamlessly at the same time. There's no failover, there's no backup. It's just simultaneous. The value to a lot of customers of having that internet always available, again, makes the MRC almost, regardless. All right, here's everything but the kitchen sink, doing business with ipfone, and that's back to you, Stu.
Okay. All right, well, thanks a lot. Eric's message, by the way, as you can probably tell, is that I believe that business owners now are willing to invest money into making their companies better, more productive, and inclusive, and all the sort of esoteric things that go along with doing business. All right. I don't think we should assume that if someone says my phone system broke today, I need a new one, that's all they're really looking for. We are available, by the way, our whole company. We have 8 channel managers, 3 sales engineers, and all available to help you do what might be called a deeper dive into the requirements that your customer is potentially looking for. All right? Without raining on your parade, we're certainly available to do that. Abe, we do probably 30 to 50 demos via the WebEx
a day
scenario. No, per month. Okay. We have engineers, and we schedule demos with either yourselves, if you're interested in learning more, and/or your prospective customers. And it sort of takes the edge off, you hammering something home when we have somebody who's a little more agnostic to their requirements. Okay, everybody got that? So we're really available for all that. And again, as it was mentioned, the closing ratio and the investment both are higher when we engage, and we're not demanding it, we're offering it. All right. That's it. Okay, so I sat down about 3 or 4 months ago, and we had a little meeting with all the channel managers at TCG. And I thought I'd come up with just a list of what you get when you do business with ipfone. All right, and it's, of course, everything but the kitchen sink that you'll see here. Which way am I going here, up or down?
To the right.
Upside down. You have it upside down.
Let me help you, Stu. Let me do it for you.
I got it. Okay. So these are the things you get. I'm just going to rapid fire through these, all right? But we believe that we bring a lot to the table when you do business with our company. And all of this, by the way, is included in our proposition, all right? So a complete cloud solution, which Eric has talked about, for any size company, anywhere in the United States. And we have deployments in South America, the Caribbean, and in Europe at this time as well. SIP trunking and hosted PBX as well. We offer a variety of handsets, all the major brands of handsets, and we encourage companies you may have that are not necessarily maybe happy with the provider they're using now. We're happy to reprovision, legacy phones or own phones, all right, at any given time. And again, it's all included in the proposition. We have 7 professional project managers, all have been with the company north of 5 years, and they all came from the technical end of the business, do installations and what have you. So they are all very knowledgeable and very professional. So the experience, and I mentioned it before, if they like you in the first 10 days, they're going to like you for the next 10 years. So these folks are chartered with taking the paperwork, getting the customer engaged, getting all the information available, scheduling the technicians, getting the routers put in, dates, lines, and the training right down to the nth degree. And that's their proposition, all right? And they'll keep you, if you want to be engaged, you certainly can. No installation fees. I don't care where it's going or what it is. We don't charge for installation. If you want us to put it on the bill and use it as a perk that will make it zero, we'll be happy to do it, but we don't charge. We incur the costs because we know that the customer is going to stay with us, hopefully, for the next 10 years or more, all right? We have the 3 sales engineers, upgrades without penalties. So Eric mentioned a customer that had 10 SIP trunks, and they said, listen, we need a new phone system. So whether they're on a contract with us or not, if they want to upgrade or move to another product, we'll dismiss the current agreement and start with the new services, all right? No penalties, no questions asked. And even if they downgrade, we have a sort of a gray area where if somebody drops 3 employees out of 50, we're not going to bang them for the agreement. We'll just dismiss it. Okay? We're pretty cool that way. Upgrades without we don't register prospective customers. We just go. You give us the opportunity, we're ready to rock and roll. But we don't rain on your parade. Customized bundled pricing. So if you need specialized pricing, whether maybe you have a couple of DIAs or multi-locations or certain kinds of products and services, we're willing to look at just about anything and come up with something that's right for you, as long as it makes sense to all parties. All right. The 6-month satisfaction guarantee has been in place. Someone hems and haws, about it and say, listen, can you make it 9 months? Yes. All right. Because if it doesn't go in 6 months, there's a very remote chance that something's going to happen in the next 3, all right? So it's a calculated risk that we are willing to take, and they get a certificate, by the way. It's not just something that we say you get a 6-month satisfaction guarantee. It's in writing. But, the only caveat in it, just to let you know, is that if they're having an issue and we can't fix it, they can go away. We've used it, I would say, legitimately in the last 5 years, 5 times. Okay, with doing thousands of installations, all right? All right? I think one guy just didn't like me, all right? And I didn't like his car as I keyed it. Okay, a couple more, all right? This is Stu's brainstorming. This is my thing. So sales professionals, we have 8 channel managers that work for the company. Everybody has been here more than 15 years, particularly in the industry, some north of 25 or 30 or 40 or 45, okay? 50-ish. Jesus, what have I been doing? All right? All right, we assist in the presentations. I mentioned this before. We have a really good track record of maximizing monthly recurring revenue, all right? The customer is delighted to spend money when they see the value that they're getting from the proposition, all right? So, again, we're open to do it all the time, anytime, and anywhere. We have a comprehensive learning center on our website, so for retraining, customers who want to go to it, and if they get some new users on it, it's available, or we'll engage, because we have 3 professional sales product trainers who engage with every new customer, whether it's 3 users or 3,000. We don't care. It's fully engaged, and if there's specialized training for contact center, receptionist, the portal, any of that, it's all included in the proposition again. All right. We have references in every vertical. We've been doing this for 25 years. I don't care what industry that you have somebody you want to acknowledge in. We have someone that they can call upon. All right, and in all sizes and in all locations. Because you know the old saying, misery loves company, so they want to know who else has you. All right? Custom pricing. Decisions are made quickly. We have 100 employees, but our decisions are made very quickly. We have our CEO, and some of you folks know Damien. You can get a decision on pricing or service or any issue in 10 minutes. Okay? Some of you have been engaged and know that. Renee has his cell phone number, all right? Which, by the way, we have an escalation list, and the cell phone number of our CEO is on that form.
Is it the right
The
number?
only one that's not on there is mine. You know, it's good to be the king, all right? All right. The escalated cabling services. 5 years ago, we bought a company that does cabling. So if you need Cat 5, Cat 6, paging system integration, doorbells, any of the like, which, by the way, is a very sort of nuance that we have, that we've done hundreds of these installations because people now are putting in paging systems and notification systems in their buildings because of stuff going on the planet, all right? But we offer it. You know, at your discretion. If you have your own people, that's fine, but we can certainly quote it out for any opportunity. 24-hour turnaround on all quotes, okay? ipphone's legendary on-site installation and training. That's probably the 10th time that we've mentioned that. And the reason we mention it 10 times is because it's a paramount feature of ours. I don't care if they have 5 phones in resume speed, Montana. We send somebody, okay? If it's in the southeast, we have 8 trucks that roll. If it's a big enough sale anywhere in the United States, we send our own people on a plane to get there, although we don't have them check luggage anymore, all right? So the point is, it goes back to the original mantra, that if they like us in the beginning, they'll like us forever. And we've talked to agents all over the planet, and some people don't like the deployment of hosted PBX because they're afraid it's going to go sideways. You know, maybe there's a 100 meg circuit and 15 phones. Maybe they say, maybe get the phones because I don't want to jeopardize the big deal. But it's very, very important that our message to you is that we take our installations and deployments seriously on your behalf. And a lot of you in this room can testify to that because I know you and you've been with us, doing business with us for a very long time. And we appreciate it, by the way. All right? So that's how you do business with ipphone. I mentioned this was everything but the kitchen sink, but I'm happy to let you know that we now carry a full line of kitchen sinks that you can have for your remodeling needs. And we do the installs. You like that one, didn't you? So the question is, who else offers all that stuff, for crying out loud? All right? That's our proposition to you. We make the offer. We just suggest that you act on it and give us a chance if you haven't yet. All right? Here's the satisfaction guarantee. You're not allowed to read it. All right? It's got some words in there. All right? Again, this is us. We have our people. You know, we're dedicated to making your customers extremely happy. And here's when we put our money where our mouth is. This is our third quarter spiff. We think it's competitive with what's out there today, and we're happy to pay it to you on an ongoing basis. All right. I mentioned to you before we have again we have case studies and we have these new product book that we're going to have for you to take with you. But this company called Carroll Fulmer, which happens to be one of the biggest trucking companies in the United States. You know, they rent trucks and what have you. And Eric mentioned that the analytics product, okay? So Carroll Fulmer gets about 200 calls a day to rent these, big rig trucks that you see on the road. And they're expensive. A couple $1,000s a day, $5,000 a day to load up your stuff and move it to, Albuquerque. And they were finding that people were hanging up on them. People call in, but nobody was taking the call. It got hung up on. It got lost in the transfer, right? So they maybe called, Stu's trucking company instead. So we went to Carroll Fulmer and said, how many people are hanging up on you a day? They said maybe 8 to 10 to 15 people a day. If you do the math, at $1,000 a day, that's $15,000 a day, potentially, that's going away, right? So we proposed, and they implemented the analytics product that we have, and now they get a report at the end of the day of everybody who called, who hung up on, got lost during the auto attendant, whatever it is, and they call them back at the end of the day and are making thousands more dollars for spending $300 a month on analytics. Right? Happy to do it. They didn't say, give it to me for $2, right? Or I don't want to spend that much money. They're making $15,000 a month by putting in this minutiae feature that we offer to our customers. And you'd be surprised how many people say, that sounds great, I need that, all right? Okay, so again, part of our, our messaging is that, we're big enough to matter, but small enough to care, all right? So we don't care how big or whatever you have in mind, everybody and every new customer gets the same amount of attention. And we're delighted to do that. So ladies and gentlemen, I just would end with this. Here's to more steaks and more sales. Thank you for your time.
We have